Hello, this is Aaron again with Disaster Guyz. I've been working on a series of sort of basic skills that we can teach to people. This particular video is going to be about how to build a fire, have some reliable heat. We're not talking to folks who've been camping their whole lives in this case. We're just going to go over some of the basics of how to get a fire started in the event of an emergency, or just if you go camping for the first time, which I recommend if you haven't been before. It's a lot of fun. Here we have a fire pit, safe place to build a fire. This one obviously has had some fires built in it before. What you're looking for in terms of fire pit safety is plenty of space on the outsides of the fire pit so that nothing that you don't want to catch fire catches fire. Also, clear space up ahead. One thing that is important to note, if you're in an emergency situation in the cold and you're building a fire to keep yourself alive, if you build it under a tree, you'll melt the snow in the tree. The snow can fall right on your fire, and that can kill you. So it's important to make sure that you have some space for heat to dissipate and for the smoke to go. If you've never built a fire before, the fumes can be pretty acrid. Some wood is treated, and you need to be careful about that. You can hurt yourself doing smoke inhalation on treated wood. Just a couple of things to be aware of, mostly. In this case, we're going to talk about just the basics of putting a fire together for cooking or warmth. I've shredded this newspaper into some chunks here. This is good artificial kindling. I'm going to use it to sort of set a base for what it is that we're going to be doing. I want some airy space in here so that the flame has room to expand. Crumple and then pile these strips so that we can get enough heat off the newspaper burning that it can catch some slightly larger stuff on fire. There are a bunch of different schools of thought when it comes to good structures that you can build that have to do largely with the way that fire rises when it's getting going. I'm also going to use a little cardboard because this is very flammable and it'll burn a little hotter than the paper. The paper will be able to catch the cardboard, and the cardboard will be able to catch some wood, some larger chunks here. It doesn't have to be very big. Better. Here's what I'm gonna do. So I'm building a little teepee here. Like I keep saying, the idea is that the fire has somewhere to climb. If the fire has somewhere to climb to, then it will get going and you won't have any problem getting it going, even when the wood is wet, and this is damp wood at this point. I'm gonna find one or two more little sticks here. In wet conditions like this, look around the bases of bushes and trees. You will oftentimes be able to find dry wood. You can use that to great effectiveness in a situation where you need to build an emergency fire. Wet wood will take a while to light, stating for the record, you know. Alright, so this is pretty moist. We'll be able to see what it looks like when moist wood goes to catch fire. And now we can introduce fire, and then what we'll do is start adding small pieces of wood until we can get a good sustained flame going, and we'll use that good sustained flame to light something bigger. Oh look, the camera guy had a lighter. That's excellent news. Introduce flame in a couple different places because the more heat you have to work with, the better. And the fire is going to climb up and in. So I'll light from the bottom here. I'll light from the bottom here. Also light this over here. And let's see. Nope, it's already going. So you can see the flames are going to climb up basically the house that I've built for them. And this is all pretty stringy stuff. It's got some kindling in the bark on the outside, so that's going to light pretty quickly, like you can see it's doing here. And see that kindling's going. And once you've got a hot flame like this, you can start introducing some larger chunks. One thing about weather like this is that it's going to take the wood a minute to heat up, the water to evaporate, and then the wood catches. So it can take a minute. I'm going to keep introducing some flame here because there is no reason to stop. Let's give this the best chance that we can. So now the fire's merrily roaring. You can see that the sticks in here are burning. Some of the thicker ones are keeping a sustained burn on this thing. You can see the steam coming off it, and that's gonna catch fire here pretty soon. What you do now, and we're just doing this for the sake of illustration, so I'm gonna let this fire probably burn out after this, but what we would do then is start adding bigger and bigger chunks until we got to a log 5-6 inches thick. You could get started on this thing as it stands. You just pop it right on top. It would light. It would take a minute to do that, but it would certainly light. There you go. There's a basic primer to getting a fire started, and in a situation where you're stuck out in the wilderness, or in a situation where you might be at risk of exposure, dying of exposure, which is dying of lack of shelter, lack of warmth, then knowing how to start a fire will get you out of that trouble. I hope that was informative for you. Oh, thank you.